All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Joseph Dalton. I'm an agent with Marzuko. To start this, we're going to do a drawing. There's 22 cards in here. Well, pieces of paper, anything that counts. So I need a volunteer. It's going to be you, sir. I need you to close your eyes now.
Okay.
Don't try to pick your own card.
Hold on, let me go in my pocket first.
Uh-oh. See, that's what we're going to talk about, having an edge. He's already thinking the right. All right, grab a card, any card. All right. The winner of the gift card is Emily Lake. Is that you? I'll bring it to you. You stay right there. Congratulations, $20 to Starbucks. Can't go wrong. And as Josh will say, this will allow you to go to the coffee shop, network, find some more buyers and sellers. So that might turn into 10 grand for you. Right, Ricky?
All right. Two more.
Two more giveaways from here?
Yeah.
Can't win twice? Okay, sorry. All right, now you're going to draw a card. Please. Oh, I know this guy. Brian.
Oh, the black.
Not the pink one?
The pink one.
I should pick the pink.
All right. Last but not
I'm the only one
least,
that can pull that off.
pick a lady. There's probably some men that like this.
Cool. Get this one underneath.
Okay, that's the lucky one.
That's the lucky one.
Samantha.
She always wins.
Is it Briella?
She only comes
Briella.
to meetings for the drawing.
Congrats, Sam. Awesome. Congratulations. If you won something, that's amazing. Today, what's that?
You did it, we have.
Yeah, everybody's a winner. Today we're going to talk about how to write a winning offer in today's market. If you're in the trenches of the market, working every day, and you've got buyers, you're aware that we're not in normal times. We're in very abnormal times. So the goal of my talk today is to help us have an edge. If you talk to a baseball player, they would spend a lot of hours and maybe a lot of money on coaching if they could take their average from 250 to 350. Okay, so we're not talking about normal market conditions today, okay? We're talking about when you have a buyer interested in a home and there's multiple offers on that home, probably an offer deadline, 3 offers, 7 offers, 10 offers. That's the environment that I've been in lately and have had success with. So I'm excited to share with you guys some of the things I'm doing to hopefully help you and your clients get an edge as well. The purpose of the drawing was to put 22 cards in a pile and pick somebody, and oftentimes that's how it goes with your offer. You know, I have dealt with homes that have had that many offers. We did one that had 24 offers. And so when you put your card in that pile to hopefully win a prize, how did you guys feel about your chances? I mean, not overwhelmingly confident, right? With 22 cards, there's a, 4 to 5% chance you're going to get picked. So we don't want that in real estate. We want a 20, 30, 40% chance, maybe better with our buyers' offers because we want to win. We want to be on the sharp cutting edge of real estate agents, okay? So before I dive in, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been in real estate 7 years, started in Minnesota. I spent 6 months in Minnesota. I spent 6 months down here. You can probably guess which 6 months. Happily married, married my wife on Sanibel Island 14 years ago. We have 4 handsome boys, and they're all handsome, not just 2 or 3. And I'll prove it in a second.
So we're shooting for the girl, though.
Oh,
Sounds
man.
like.
I'm going to have 4 daughter-in-laws, so that's the trick there. I exclusively have worked with buyers in Florida. I have not listed one home. I've never worked with a seller. Just has evolved into that. That's my niche. That's what I know. And so buyers are what I'm used to. In the last 90 days, I've either closed or have pending 16 homes. So that's more than I'm used to. The amount of business I've done since I've been down here in December is more than I anticipated. I'll just say that much. So, and of the 16 that I have either sold or pending, 12 of them were multiple offer situations and very competitive. And so I learned a lot in the last few months, and I'm excited to share. So right now, year to date, I'm just north of 10 million for 2022. So there's the proof that they're all handsome. Even my wife is very nice on the eyes. She's not just beautiful, she's a rock star. We homeschool our kids. She actually helps a little bit within my business with design and things like that. So her and I are an awesome team, and I'm very blessed. So as I said, the goal today is to add some new tools to your toolbox. When you sit down with a buyer to write an offer, my goal is that you think a little differently and you slow down a little bit and you start to think a little more competitive and start having that edge. We all need to sharpen our axe at times. The story I told yesterday is 2 lumberjacks, their job is to cut trees down all day, and one of them just works really hard, cuts down as many trees as he can for 8 hours straight. The other one disappears for an hour a day, and the other guy's wondering, why is he so lazy? He's not even working a full 8 hours. So finally, after being outdone by the guy that takes a break every day, the one working 8 hours straight asked the other guy, what are you doing for an hour a day? He said, I'm sharpening my axe. And that was the key to his success, is he was stopping from the go, go, go that we fall into in real estate, and he was pausing to educate himself, to learn, and to become sharp, and to become more skilled at what he does. It's no longer easy to make money in real estate, at least on the buy side. It's never easy, but sometimes you just walk into a deal and it goes very well. Well, with buyers right now, that's just not the case. So we need to be more prepared, work smarter, not harder, work both. And so that's the lesson that kind of resonated. We're not in a balanced market. We are skilled professionals. We need to know our craft. We have to stay sharp, as I said. We need a competitive edge. Some of you in this room are probably very competitive. If you absolutely hate losing, then you're competitive. And I hate losing, especially when it's on behalf of somebody else that's trusting me and putting their confidence in me to guide them to a goal, and we have a little bit of a trip up and we don't succeed. I hate that a lot. However, I coach people, and that's par for the course. They understand that it might take a few tries. So nobody will bat 1,000, okay? You're working with buyers in a competitive market, you may fail 2-3 times. But if you coach them properly on the front end, that's okay. If there's 10 offers on the table, you don't want a 10% chance of acceptance, because that means your offer is average, okay? Marzuko's not average, okay? The culture Josh and everybody has built here is not average. I know that. I've been in real estate 7 years. I jumped on board with Marzuko in November, and I can tell you it's an excellent place to be. Marzuko real estate is different, and I'm very grateful to be here. It's a blessing to be able to have a 100% commission model. Has allowed me to do things recently that I never dreamed of doing. Buying a home on a canal with my kids fish, and hopefully get a boat soon, and things like that have really helped my life. So I'm very grateful for the model that I'm involved in. So if you're going to, anybody ever box? Anybody a boxer here? Anybody MMA, karate, anything?
Ricky likes.
Okay.
I like the dabble.
You like to dabble? Hopefully not at the bar, like in that setting, but
I want to be fair for the other guy.
exactly. Imagine you're putting your kid into boxing, okay, because you want them to become strong and defensive, and you take them to a boxing ring on the first day and you throw them in the ring, and within 3 seconds an experienced boxer just knocks them out. I mean, how would your kid feel if he had no preparation, no knowledge, and no coaching on what to expect when he gets in that ring? Okay, buyers are the same way. We have to coach buyers on what's about to happen, okay? On the environment, the battlefield, if you will, of what's going on in the market. You have to be educated. You have to understand days on market. You have to understand homes are selling for 17 grand over, or 46,000 over, or they're getting 6 offers or 12 offers. You have to study that stuff and really know the market. So the more homes you sell, the more homes you will sell, because you're in the trenches. Buyers have to have a proper expectation of the market, meaning they may make an offer and not get it. They may repeat that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. My average is usually with one buyer that we're going to get them a house within 3 tries. Okay? Yes, I've gone 4, 5, or probably 6. I've never got up to 8, 9, 10, 13. I've heard of buyers making 17 offers, and I'm thinking, who is your agent? How do they have that much time on their hands to just show a house, fill out a piece of paper, and email it? Fill up, that's not what we're doing. Okay, we're winning in this brokerage, and we're going to have an edge, and the other agents aren't going to know what's going on because it's going to be Marzuko, and that's my nature. So that's what we're trying to do. You have to coach the buyers properly, especially when you want them to pay 20, 30, 40 grand over, appraisal gap, maybe waive the inspection, all of that. Who's your recommended lender? I wasn't going to do this, but I think I will. I'm going to call my lender and see if he answers. Yesterday he dropped the ball, and I'm going to ask him a question that he's going to share with you guys. Instead of calling him, I'm going to FaceTime him. Okay, so he's going to be totally on the spot. And if he doesn't answer, then I just can't recommend him. Yesterday, Lauren answered before he did, and he's going to see all you guys here.
He's like, why does one look like a face on?
Yesterday he had a lunch appointment. There he is. Steve, say hi to 29 people. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, this is okay, well, we can't see you, but say hi to Marzuko Real Estate agents.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, my question for you is, when I submit an offer, what do? I text you, okay, let you know when it's sent, and then you call the listing agent. It's something we're going to talk about. If you got a second, I'd like you to share, what do you tell that listing agent when you call them? All right, I'm just going to call him on speaker. I'll just call you. At least he answered. Yeah. Great text. No problem. So my question is, when you call a listing agent, after we submit an offer, what do you say to that listing agent?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I want to get across is number one, the strength of the buyer. So I want to let them know, typically I say, hey, I've worked with John Doe here for the last number of weeks. We've reviewed income, assets, credit. They've got a really strong job history. They've got their own down payment, and we're ready to go. We've got an automated approval. Sometimes we get a full underwriting approval, full credit underwriting approval beforehand. I call it the warm and fuzzy cause. I want them to know that, number one, who I am, that I've got, 20 years experience in the business, and I didn't just start, 2 months ago, and that they're fully pre-approved, and we're not fly-by-night company that's gonna, write a pre-approval, and it was 6 months ago, and we haven't pulled credit since then. So
Right.
just let them know that we're serious. We're gonna be able to close on time.
Excellent. Love it. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Everybody say bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. So I've been working with Steve for about 3 years. He's an agent. He's a lender in Minnesota and Florida. He's actually bought 3 homes down here in Florida, investment properties with me. And he's just did a loan for me a couple weeks ago. So Steve is extremely upbeat, happy to help, experienced. You have to have a lender that you have their cell phone number and they're available quickly, okay? That's the whole point of what we do. When the listing agent gets a call from you in the beginning of you starting to craft your offer, and they get a call from the lender, okay, after you sent the offer, the whole model of what I'm speaking about today is putting pieces together, okay? Like a good recipe or a puzzle with a beautiful sunset picture. We're forming this offer, okay, to tell a story, paint a picture, and they're gonna get a vibe, they're gonna get a gut feeling about you, your buyer, their lender, and the whole experience, okay? It's an experience, it's not just an offer. So part of the team that you need to put together, including your inspector and your lender, is rockstar lenders, okay? Rockstar inspectors. So Steve has been phenomenal, and you need a lender like that. So the how-to, how to write an offer, winning offer in a multiple offer situation. After I show a home to a buyer and they get all starry-eyed, you know, you watch it happen, it's fun. You watch them emotionally get involved in the home, and it's awesome, it's fun. They want to write an offer, they want the house, okay? So they often ask me, you know, what do you think? What's it going to take to get this house? Great question, but now we go to work, okay? First step in doing that is you call the listing agent. Actually, before that, you read the agent remarks, okay? In the agent remarks, it's going to say sometimes what the closing date is preferred by the seller, what furniture is going to stay, stuff that you need to know to put together a competitive offer, okay?
Which contracts do you use too?
Right. So, as far as I know, because
Because you think bar, but
Yeah.
we see a lot of them here in Naples under, they'll say only on a Naples.
exactly. So don't submit an offer after putting in 2, 3, 4 hours of work. That's on the wrong contract that you didn't read. You know, take 60 seconds, read the agent remarks, start your file of how you're going to write the offer based on that. After that, you call the listing agent. You're asking the listing agent if it's not in the remarks. The simplest question is, you know, first thing I say is, you know, this is Joseph calling with Marzuka Real Estate. Bob, I appreciate you taking my call. I'm calling about one of your listings at 1234, and we're going to write an offer. We're going to write a strong offer. Okay, use the word strong. I would like to know a few things. You know, number one, when does your seller prefer to close? You know, are they flexible? What do they need? Okay, they want to close May 3rd. Great, that works for my buyer. Do they need any extra time in the home? Do they, you know, things like that. You're finding out, okay, because sellers are stressed out, okay? They have 30 people through their home in a weekend. They don't know where they're going to move, maybe. They have to sell furniture. They're stressed out. It's a stressful thing. It's a very stressful thing. So the whole goal of your offer is to reach through the agent and capture the attention of the seller. And the way to do that is take their stress level to the lowest possible level. Okay, that's our job, honestly. We create solutions, we deal with issues, challenges, obstacles, fears, and we get to the next step with ease for our client. So you're talking to them about how to write your offer, you know, without asking, how do I write my offer? Okay, you're getting information. What's important to the seller? That's the $1 million question. Hey, Bob, as you've been dealing with your seller and helping them plan their move, what have you found to be the most important thing to your seller? And they'll tell you. And that's something you need to be writing down, focusing on that. You're asking how many offers they have. You're asking, are they cash or financed? Sometimes they'll tell you, sometimes they won't. But you can ask. It's a professional question to ask. It's fair. When are the offers due? Again, might already be in the remarks. If it's not, you need to know that. You need to get your offer in before it's due. Let them talk. You're asking maybe 2 to 4 questions, and you're just letting the agent talk, okay? It's valuable information. And then you're ready. You're ready to write the offer. So you're gonna have a conversation with your buyer, okay? Now this is the second conversation you've had with your buyer about an offer. The first conversation was at the buyer consultation. You need to explain to them what an appraisal gap is, what an inspection period is, all of those things. They have to be prepared so that when it's time to write the offer, you don't have to spend 2 hours explaining what earnest money is, okay? So you're ready to write the offer. You're gonna craft your offer according to your call with the listing agent. A love letter. How many of you have used love letters in the past?
They work.
They
They
work.
freaking work.
I
They
don't
work.
know.
We should literally just move on to the next point. But
I just got my
Yes,
first one.
false. You can absolutely do love letters, to my knowledge.
Not in, it's in California, Oregon, and those places, they're starting to make it illegal. But here in the state of Florida, you can still use it. And it's an edge that we can use, and you might as well go all in on these offers.
It worked on my house. We wanted to buy a house on a canal in Cape Coral. I was actually looking at it for a client, virtual, and my wife was with me, and she was like silent. She's never silent about a house. She loves to just, and I was like, oh, she loves this house. So we wrote a letter. We were financed. and the other offer was cash. They took our offer. I could talk all day. I could literally talk an hour about love letters.
It's worked on my last 3 deals. Yesterday, literally, case in point, I got under contract on a 1.1. The only reason we're under contract on that deal is, he didn't want to use an escalation clause, it's fine, but it was the love letter. And when I suggested that we use one, they were hesitant and they pushed back. They're like, oh, we think it's tacky, and we passed it up back in the day on the sale of another property, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, all right, you want to tell me how to do it? Whatever. All they can do is say no, right? But you submit that offer. Even if it's the seller that's an investor, they only care about money, and at the end of the day, it might reach the agents who push your offer, right? So in this case, it was 2 ladies and it was 2 agents. The whole family was there yesterday, met each other, and they were like, it was the love letter. Oh my God, we got to see your son in the swimming pool. Oh my God,
Guys,
we want your
it's
family
crazy.
to be here as much as possible. It freaking works. And I look at the guy.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta, so some people are not very good with words, so you just find out what your buyer's intentions are for buying the home, why do they need the home, and then you might type up the letter for them and have them sign it.
The buyer is simply telling their story, okay, who they are, why they're buying the home, what they loved about the home.
I was under the impression you're not allowed to do love letters anymore.
You can,
Yes, you can.
you still can.
It changed recently, like
Yeah,
3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Like
did it?
3 weeks ago or so.
Possible. I don't.
Well,
I don't.
I would, do it, and then
If an agent says something.
if they say
okay,
something,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's
That's
why
why I
I
asked
know,
forgiveness
because I
later.
submitted it and they decided you're not, and legally you can't do it anymore.
Okay, well then detach it.
So,
Here's my-
Yeah.
the brokerage I came from, no more. Okay, that broker put an end to it. Now this is months ago. So by all means, we can. I mean, we want to play by the rules. So maybe we should look into that and find out. But as far as I know, it's not illegal. Okay, what's illegal is you put in there a bunch of information that's discrimination topics. Sex, age, religion, family, whatever it is. And then if they show your offer favor because of that, I mean, going to be hard to prove, but we don't want to violate fair housing, just so I'm clear, okay? But I've been using it for 7 years, and I could tell you 25 stories about how and why they work. But people care about their house, okay? They have a lot of love and investment into their house, and if they read a letter from somebody that they feel is really going to appreciate the house, and it's all truth. I mean, you don't need to sugarcoat anything. You're just telling the story of your buyer, and you're hoping to basically create a match. Okay, I had a school teacher write a letter. We didn't know the seller was a school teacher, but guess what? It worked. I personally don't think it creates any disadvantage. I'm not convinced that it creates a disadvantage. I'm convinced that it creates a big advantage most of the time. So think about it, look at some examples, but that's a huge part of what I think creates an edge. The offer price. If there's multiple offers on a property, generally speaking, the buyers that have written offers and their agents aren't wasting time. So they're generally going to be higher than the list price, okay? It's like an auction, it gets bid up. So even if you have an escalation clause and you're willing to go 30 grand more, don't start with a weak offer price if you're in a multiple offer situation. It's up to you guys, but you're gonna wanna be 10, 20, 30 grand over depending on the circumstances to get their attention. I've had offers come in when I'm listing homes in Minnesota and they're like for the list price, and I got like 4 offers 40 grand above, but they'd escalate up like 100 grand. And my seller was like, they don't like that. So I think you should start off with a good offer price, even if you're gonna go higher on escalation. My belief is that people think in round numbers. So if it's a $500,000 listing and there's multiple offers and your buyer wants to go 520, great. But I'm gonna recommend to my buyer to go 521 because the next guy is probably already offered 520 because it's a round number. It's just how our brains think. So instead of 520 or 515 or 525, I usually go 511, 516, 521, 526. Now that I said that to everybody, maybe you want to go 2 grand over, okay? To beat Brian by $1,000. So let that resonate. You want to be ahead of your competition. The appraisal gap, earnest money, it matters. If your buyer is comfortable, go big on the earnest money. Consider making all of it or part of it non-refundable. I did a deal that I'm going to highlight in a minute And we got the seller's attention out of 8 offers and got a phone call, which is huge, by the way. If you're the preferred offer, other than a few things, you want that phone call. And so they asked us if we would make half of our earnest money non-refundable. Called my buyer, they're like, of course we'll do that. The reason they were asking is because we were a financed offer and they had 3 cash offers. So the seller was pulling himself back and forth from our offer to the cash offer. And he said to himself, if I take the financed offer, then their financing falls apart. I'm back to square one. Maybe I should just take the cash offer. So the agent went to bat for my offer, okay, because I did everything that I could possibly do to create an edge, to create rapport, and said, what if we make their earnest money non-refundable? If 2 weeks go by, the financing falls apart, the seller keeps 15 grand. He's not gonna mind putting it back on the market for 15 grand, okay? So if you're a financed offer and there's more than 4 or 5 offers, you're likely going up against the cash offer. And if you don't understand why those are different, ask somebody that's experienced. But essentially, the cash offer is skipping the appraisal process. They're skipping the financing stuff, and they can close in a week, 2 or 3, versus a financed offer. So earnest money should be as big as you can and partially or fully non-refundable if you want a competitive edge. The appraisal gap, if it's a $500,000 house, you're offering $540,000, you better have a $40,000 appraisal gap in there because the listing agent came up with the $500,000 list price somewhere. So likely the comps are going to value it at $500,000. If you're willing to throw 40 grand extra at the house, how's that going to get paid to the seller if the appraisal comes in at $500,000? Okay, so the appraisal gap should be at least the difference between the list price and your offer price. Or, like Ricky taught us, you could potentially waive it altogether. If you want to understand that, talk to Ricky. Closing date, if your buyer is flexible, that's an easy one. It should be on the date the seller wants. Easy, okay? Escalation clause or inspection, we have to be careful with this one because our job is to coach buyers and sellers on their options, their choices, and they make those options and choices based on their comfort level. Waiving the inspection entirely is something the buyer can do to create a big advantage of their offer because it's eliminating a huge hurdle between the seller and the seller's money. Okay, seller wants to get paid. So waiving the inspection is a huge thing, a huge card you can play. However, as agents, we are recommending to do an inspection. We're letting them know the value of an inspection, okay? We know it's valuable, we know it's a good idea. But in these times, we're starting to do things that are different because we're in different times. So if your buyer is comfortable with waiving that, you want to get something in writing that says that you've recommended it, but that they're choosing on their own liability to waive that. What I say is, if I always push inspection and never even gave my buyer the opportunity to waive it, to create an advantage or a competitive edge, then I'm not doing my job. Because it's a tool in the toolbox that I can offer to them, not me, to do it that way, okay? So it's an optional thing, it's the buyer's choice. Does that make sense?
But always get it in writing, even if it's on the phone. Say, just to reiterate, Tom, we're waiving this inspection, and you agree to do so. So
The escalation clause, anybody not familiar with what that is? Everybody knows what escalation clause is? Awesome. So if you're at that 521 on a $500,000 house, but you're willing to go 541, you're putting in that max number, and the form is very clear. What increment are you going above the other offer? The increment matters. Don't just go up $1 or $500 or $1,000. Go up 2, 3, 4, 5,000. Reason being, there may be multiple escalation clauses, and so if one guy is going to go up $5 grand above any other offer, another guy's going up $3 grand, and they're not at their max, it's going to matter because this offer's at 520. This guy will beat any offer by $4 grand. This guy will beat any offer by $2 grand. That means this guy's at 522 and this guy's automatically at 524. So try to go 3, 4, 5, 6 grand or 10 because that might matter.
That's a great tool to use too. I just got a house under contract, or closed actually in Lehigh, and it was an FHA, and we used the escalation clause, and the house was listed for $249,500. We sent the letter, and we also used the escalation clause, and we got it under contract at $256,500. We beat out another offer for $255,000, but I knew the home might not appraise, right? So now you're 15, sometimes 20 days in after inspection period, the financial contingency is there, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, my buyer has no more money to come up with to close the gap, right? They can either take that offer or let it sit there on an FHA for 6 months, which the appraisal will stay. So they basically, if they put it back on the market, they'd have to do all that work again. Remember, the sellers are cashing that money in their head, and they're looking to invest the money into other projects or move for other reasons. So anyway, we got the home for $247,000. So I got him $9,500 off of the purchase price. What
Love
he
it.
thought he was going to pay. 2 days on market.
And most of the time, it doesn't escalate to the max.
Exactly.
It just
Yeah, we went up to, I think on his it was 300. I think it was 300.
love it. It worked. Another thing that we could talk all day about, but it works. Those of us that are in the trenches every day doing this, it works. Okay. Step 3, of course, is submitting the offer. Okay. This isn't just attach a PDF and email it off, although that's important, right? You want to make sure it doesn't go to their spam, confirm receipt, that's all in here. Always include an offer summary in the email. We're busy people. If we're a listing agent, we've got 9 offers. We don't want to look through 26 pages times 9 to pick out the 7 bullet points. How about you just make it easy for me and tell me what you're offering, okay? It's in writing. You're serious about it. It's not a verbal. It's in the email. It's also in the PDF. But create an offer summary, okay? Below that, include your lender contact info. Okay, if they have a question, they have to call you, track down your lender. Just let them call the lender directly. Your lender should welcome the call of any listing agent from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I mean, this market does not have the luxury of working 8 to 4 and Tuesdays off and every other Monday, okay? 7 days a week, this is what we do. So your lender should understand that and be ready. Have all the documents together in one PDF, neat, clean, proper order. The order should be a love letter, so it's not missed. Just smacks them in the face right when they open that up. And you want to put in your offer summary, okay, because they might just read your summary, which is not them doing a good job. But you want to put in your summary, please be sure to present, don't call a love letter when you're dealing with the agent. That's just what we call it in the biz. Please present personal written letter from buyer to seller. Please be sure to present, okay? That may be in the remarks that they don't want any love letters and that they don't want any escalation clauses. And if they don't submit it, okay? But if they don't tell you not to, it's something you can consider. The order should be the love letter, the pre-approval letter, or proof of funds, or both. Actually, it's a good idea. Then the contract, then the disclosures. The lender should call the listing agent within 30 minutes of your offer being sent. If you send an offer at 9 a.m., your lender gets around to calling them at 4 p.m., you're lost in the 5 offers. It needs to be sharp, timely, like a domino effect. Email the agent the offer, shoot them a text that it's been sent. Now 10, 5, 6 minutes later, they get a call from the lender. Kind of goes together. Does that make sense? Be sure that they confirm receipts. You don't want to end up in their spam folder. I left feedback for a house the other day. In the feedback, I wrote, offer was submitted. She called me and said, you wrote an offer? And I said, yes, I did. She's like, well, I'm glad you left feedback because it was in my spam folder. Okay? You have to stay on that agent and confirm they received it. You don't want to be annoying and give them some time. But if the deadline's coming up and you submit it at 9 and the deadline's 8 p.m., you don't hear from them until 4 or 5, 6 p.m., you better make sure they got it, okay?
Talking about leaving feedback on the showtime.
Yeah, yep, feedback. And don't just say like offer submitted, say like lovely home, well staged, say whatever you want, but write some good feedback and the fact that an offer's been submitted. Text the listing agent immediately after it's sent. That's not just to bug them, it's to open up a line of communication, lets them know you're on top of it. Now they have you to text back right away, they've seen your number. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, hey, I'm here, whatever you need, let me know. I'm on top of it, I'm available, I'm reachable. Be ready for a call from the listing agent. After your offer's been submitted, you're an on-call agent, okay? You have to answer the phone or call them back as quick as possible if they call you. If they have 9 offers, the deadline's 5 p.m., you get a call at 5:15, you better answer the phone, okay? They're not calling you, shoot the breeze. They have a seller in front of them, and they have 9 offers spread out on the table. Normally, they limit it to 3, and then they start talking about them. They ask the agent, what do you think? And if your offer is close, they're calling you to give you a chance to close the deal. Answer the phone and have your buyers ready to answer their phone, okay? Super important. The seller doesn't want to go to bed sometimes without a decision made, without signatures, and that's an opportunity to go quick. Get it done. How will your offer stand out? We want to be creative. I'm going to talk about something shortly that I've never done that I did, and it worked. What will capture the seller's attention? Okay, it's not just being fancy or tricky or funny or ridiculous. It's about something of value that the seller will appreciate, recognize, and actually, feel it. Right? They're going to feel your offer by the way you write it. So what is it, based on your call with the listing agent, that's going to help yours stand out? One of a few things you can consider, okay? It's different for every deal because sellers, buyers, and homes are all different. There's circumstances that are different. That's why we have to be creative because we can customize it based on your particular situation. But something that I've been doing lately when I'm in a competitive situation with my buyers is paying the seller's closing costs. You don't necessarily have to pay them all, but a couple grand, $3 grand, $4 grand, $1,500, $1,000. The gesture will mean a lot on top of the actual dollars, okay? Money's important, but it's not everything. So you're doing things different than the other buyer. Paying 100% of the year's taxes. Giving the seller 3 days, 7 days, 30 days, or 60 days to live in their home after the close so that they can finish up school or take their dog to the vet or whatever. Okay, sellers have different needs, different wants. Some of them just leave town right away and it's vacant. Some of them, you want to give the seller, I personally think, as free as you can get it, lease back for a period of time to let their life be easy. Okay?
Do you throw that into every offer?
No, so that's based on the call with the agent.
Okay.
So when I call the agent, one of the questions I ask is, what is your seller's plan for moving to their next place? Would some extra time in the home be helpful to them? They might not have even asked. You're helping them do their job well. They'd say, you know what? That would be helpful because X, Y, Z. Or they've got a pod in the driveway, or they've got something that. So ask, and certainly it's not a bad gesture to include on every offer as an option, because they might want time to move and this and that. So a 3-day, like if your buyers don't even need the house, by all means, it's not a bad thing to offer. Just sometimes will matter to the seller and sometimes it just may not. Recently, I showed up to a final walkthrough on behalf of my buyer, because my buyer was in Georgia. Bless you. They were closing at 11 a.m. I went there at 8 a.m. check out the house. Sellers were there. They're in their late 70s. They're sweating, stressing, and they're arguing, okay? Bickering, freaking out. They're in a stressful situation, okay? Showed up, do my final walkthrough, which I did, chit-chatted with the seller, and he came to me, and he's like, Joe, I don't know how or why or when we're gonna have the time to clean this house for your buyer. The last thing I wanna do is leave them with a dirty house. We got a couple cats and a dog and this and that. The fridge hasn't been wiped out. And I just calmly stopped him and I said, Danny, I got it. Don't worry about it. My cleaning company can be here at 10, 11 a.m. Buyers aren't coming for 2 days. If it gets cleaned before or after closing, don't worry about it. Just give me the key and relax, okay? The guy went from, freaking out, stressing out to, like, he didn't have anything to say. He was shocked, okay? A couple $100. So something I've done with offers is you already anticipate that's gonna happen, okay? Sellers wanna leave their home clean, beautiful, maybe a bottle of champagne on the counter, but by the time they've packed up and getting ready to move out, they're stressed out, it took longer than they thought, and they may just simply not have the time or mental capacity to scrub a toilet and to wipe out a fridge, okay? There's companies that do that. If you guys haven't heard, they're called cleaning companies. And they're beautiful people. They show up and all of a sudden it smells good in the house. So put in the offer that the buyer's agent will arrange for and pay for cleaning service, professional cleaning service, on day of closing. Maybe it's an hour or two before the closing, maybe it's after. You work all that out. Anticipate what's going to happen and solve the issue before it's an issue. The seller will be very grateful for that, trust me.
And the buyer.
And the buyer. My buyers will not move into a house that's dirty. Okay, so if I pay the bill, that's fine. But it's a non-negotiable. Because I had it happen and they were in tears. And my cleaning company went over there, sent them out on the lanai, and went to work. And all that dog hair was picked up. Okay? They're spending a lot of money and it needs to be clean.
How much does it cost for like a 3-2? Let's say a 3-2.
Could be $200, could be $400. A move-out clean can be intense because the sellers are all different and they all live differently.
And we've got Andy, he's an agent here, but he's the one that cleans the office and his wife too. There's a bunch of, you need recommendations.
This is about being creative. It's about solving issues before they're an issue and standing out so that when they look at all the offers, their eyes and their heart are pulled to your offer. It's just one way to do it. You can basically, within reason, of course, put anything in that contract, okay? The deal I submitted on Tuesday, the offer I submitted on Tuesday, we noticed 3 different Chicago Cubs memorabilia on the walls. We put in our offer in contract form, very specifically, that upon execution of this contract, the seller will receive 2 Chicago Cubs tickets to any game of their choice within 15 rows of the Cubs dugout, okay? How is he not gonna like that? He might turn you down, but you're gonna get his attention. You're gonna get his attention, okay?
I just saw one yesterday, a lender posted it up, but he said his offer includes, I think it was Matt Sochi, the seller, until they can find their new home, wherever it is, the buyer agreed to take care of their dogs and their cats and let them live there.
Saw that.
Get a moving crew, get a
And
quote.
their fish too.
And they're
Right.
it's in the contract.
Saw it. It's crazy.
Again, you're being creative, okay? Standing out. You're having all these things create an edge. If you have a 10% chance in the beginning, by the time you're done with your offer, every one item you do is going to help you by 5 to 10%. All of a sudden, there's 8 offers, but it's 50-50 because yours is so good. Do not blend in with every offer. Do not submit something average, okay? Do not just rush through it. I listed a house in Minnesota last fall. We received 12 offers, and if you want to know how to write great offers, get a few listings, price them right, get multiple offers, and study. What are these other agents doing? Okay, and one of the ways that I've learned a lot of these things is from listing homes. Again, like I said, Minnesota. My seller received 12 offers. 0 of the offers offered to pay my seller's closing costs. Even if it was a couple grand, would have got the seller's attention. 2 of them wrote love letters, and my seller said, I need to sleep on this. It's 10:30, I'm tired, but I'm limiting it down to 2 offers. Which 2 do you think they were? Okay. Your offer is always negotiable. Okay, if you're not the best offer, you want to get the seller's attention so much from this that maybe this is able to be worked out. Okay, if you submit an average offer, you're just going to get lost. You want to grab their attention. And in this case, they did. 2 letters. She considered those 2, and she hated the fact that offer 2 didn't get chosen. She didn't think about offers 1 through 10, right? So, matters. The closing costs paid, taxes paid. They both increase the seller's bottom line without inflating the purchase price. When you inflate the purchase price, you're possibly pushing that price further and further away from the appraised amount. So if it's $500,000, you get $1 million offer. Doesn't really mean anything if it's not going to appraise. Okay, so you have to be aware of that. But those things put money in the seller's pocket without any risk attached to it. So you've heard of people paying people off for something, right? Why wouldn't you pay off the seller to accept your buyer's offer? And if your buyer is willing to pay, it makes it even easier. Okay? Our goal is to receive a call. We're going to be by our phone. Our offer's been submitted. The deadline is expired, and you're waiting for a call. Okay? We want a call from the listing agent, even if we're not the best offer, giving us the opportunity to become the best offer. Just mentioned that, but I'm saying it again on purpose because I'll just say it. That is why it's important to stand out, make an impression on the listing agent and the seller. Okay? Here's an offer I wrote Tuesday. I wrote 2 offers Tuesday, and today, Thursday. So this is last Tuesday. So 9 days ago, I wrote 2 offers for 2 buyers on 2 different homes, and I really wanted them accepted, so I could tell you about it. And if you watched yesterday's video, you already know. They both got accepted, okay? One had 7 offers, one had 8, okay? And we won both of them, which is awesome. I was excited about that. But you're not going to win in multiple offers just by luck, okay? You'll probably get something accepted eventually. But I've got a buyer's agent in Minnesota with 17 buyers. And he's like, Joe, it doesn't really mean anything. They want to work with me. Great. Not time to celebrate. Time to celebrate when they go to the closing table. Okay? It isn't good enough to get a client to like and trust you. You have to be sharp enough to actually get them to the goal line of a closing. Okay? So all this stuff matters. It'll affect your income, and it will affect your buyer referring you. They'll say, hey, there was 13 offers and they accepted ours. Well, who was your agent? Some Joe Blow. I don't know. Some guy. Okay? They're going to remember you, and they're going to refer you. So this offer I submitted Tuesday to the listing agent and his broker, who was the co-listing agent. And please confirm receipt. A lot of my emails have gone to spam lately, which is true. Happy to present this offer on behalf of my buyers. They're well qualified. They're excited about this opportunity. I've included an offer summary below for your review, along with lender contact info. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. So I started doing all my bullet points, and I realized that it looked messy. So I corrected it, and I created a nice little slope there. And here's the thing I didn't say yesterday. Quality agents recognize quality agents. They say game recognizes game, or whatever they say these days. If you're dealing with a sharp agent who's successful, busy, and doing well, when you submit an offer like this, okay, they're going to remember you. You're going to stand out. They're going to like how you do business because that's how they do business. They're a professional, and you're a professional. So why would we not treat it with extreme care, okay? So I do this on every deal, but I don't usually get compliments on the offers because there's 9 of them, and they don't have time to email everybody back. But in this case, this is the email I got back. She said, in 20 years of real estate, this is the best offer presentation I've seen an agent do for their buyer. Congratulations. Which at that point I'm thinking, send the contract back with signatures, please. Talk is cheap. I wish you worked for me. Nope, not gonna happen. Jason will be discussing offers with seller later today. Thank you. Have a great day. So that meant a lot to me because she recognized my whole goal, okay, which is to stand out. It matters. So this next topic is one of the last tools that I use occasionally, which I call secret weapon, only because a lot of agents do not do this. Not only do they not do it, they won't do it. But out of the 16 deals I've done or pending, I've reduced my commission on probably 4 of them. Okay? 3 of them, I wrote in the initial offer that the buyer broker is to receive 2% commission instead of 2.5%, and the 0.5% is to be credited to the seller at closing. Okay, it's not an extra bump for the listing agent. Nice try. It's for the seller to put $2, $3, $4 grand in their pocket. On top of the taxes your buyer paid, on top of the title fees your buyer paid, that could equal $9 grand between those 3 things. Okay. Does not have to be on every offer. I realize we are in a commission business. If we're asking our buyer to go 50 grand above and pay taxes and do this, who's stopping us from putting some skin in the game? Okay? Not putting a leg in the game, okay? Just a skin, just some skin, okay? Josh and his team have created, on our sign out there it says, we're not a brokerage, we're a culture, okay? The culture here is very agent driven. How much more agent driven can it be than 100% commission, okay? I've never been in a broker like that, and the proof is in that right there. I already was sold on Marzuko within 2 minutes because quality recognizes quality, okay? So I knew this is the home for me, and I love it, and I'm very grateful. But the brokerage down the street's giving you 80%. So if you reduce your commission from 2.5 to 2 on 1 out of 4 deals, you're still going to average 96% commission. And if you're not willing to give up 4% for your clients, maybe our priorities are just a little switched, okay? My priority is to cross the finish line with my client. And if I say to them, I'll fight for you, I'll do this, I'll do whatever it takes, then I have an opportunity to do something that costs me something. That's my commitment. And I'll get referrals for life. And I have. And that's all my business is referrals. So it's simply something to think about, okay? It will grab the seller's attention. And I did a deal like this in Minnesota where I offered Minnesota, most commissions are 2.7. I offered to receive 2% instead. And the seller not only accepted our offer, but they counter-offered a 2.7% commission. So I basically handed them 2-3 grand, and they took it and handed it right back to me. Okay? They're not greedy, I'm not greedy, and that was a really good experience for me because they recognized what I was doing, they appreciated it, and they felt that I had enough value to give me the full dollar. Okay? The full, you know what I'm saying. So it does work. Would you rather lose and then show your buyer 10 more homes and write 4 more offers? Or do you want to just push past that goal line with a little blood, sweat, and tears and win? Okay? Save yourself some time. Buyer fatigue is a real thing. How many offers do you think your buyer wants to submit before they give up? 4, 8, 17, 23? I deal with 3, 4, 5 offers, and then we win. I'm not into offering the 8th, 10th time. So if my buyer's not winning, this is one of the things that I change it up. One of my favorite quotes, Zig Ziglar, he said, you can have everything you want in life if you help other people get what they want, okay? We're in a business of service. We're in a business of hospitality. We're in a business of selflessness, okay? It's not about us. I tell my clients, I'm not in the driver's seat. I want nothing to do with the driver's seat. I'm in the back, the roadmap, and I'm going to guide you. We're going to get there. And they'll know that when they work with you, okay? The reduced commission guarantees you they will remember you. And I think, again, it's a line item that pushes your offer acceptance probability up 5, 10, 15%. Okay, so just something to think about. What to do if your offer is not accepted. Okay, so you're going to want to think of a bunch of cuss words, and you're going to want to type them back to the agent. And you're going to say, "I hate you, and you wasted my time." Glad that she knows that was a joke. How do we handle the situation when our offer is not accepted? Okay, this is really important because if you can't be the best, maybe you can be on deck. Maybe you can be the second choice. And if you've been professional, courteous, prompt, your lender called, your offer was good, you stood out, you did everything, boom, 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 and there was the 9 offers and they limited it to 3, I'm pretty confident you were in that 3. Okay, so if you weren't the best, you probably are second best. Meaning, if that other deal falls apart, you want that phone call. So your agent or your email back to the agent that your offer was not accepted should be prompt, courteous, thank them for the update, ask them to keep your offer as a backup, even if your buyer may not be interested. The contract will expire, so you don't need to worry, but maybe your buyer will be. So ask them how you could have improved your offer. You know, we're in a business of constant learning, constant growing. We want to know why. I know I wrote a great offer. You want to ask very politely and professionally, but that's valuable information. Never burn a bridge. It's business. Don't take it personal. My client Scott submitted an offer, new construction house, $900,000. I think we were offered like $923 or something like that, and they had 4 or 5 offers, and they called me and said, we took a different offer. I said, okay, appreciate the update. Keep us in mind. Let me know if anything changes. Blah blah blah. That was on December 23rd, and on Christmas Eve, the buyer they did choose, not my buyer, the buyer they chose, their agent emailed the listing agent with a bunch of demands and things they wanted to change on the contract and a bunch of garbage that wasn't negotiated on the front end. And the builder basically said, that buyer just texted me. The buyer started getting demanding and all this stuff, and the seller basically was like, I'm not dealing with this. I guarantee you it was more money, 5-10 grand, who knows. Wasn't worth the headache to the builder. They said these very words. They said, Joe, he called me on Christmas Day, by the way, and did I answer my phone?
Yeah.
Of course I did. I'm on the bridge to go to the beach with my kids. Okay. I don't understand when an agent says, I'm out of the office, this and that. I understand we go on vacation and stuff like that. Totally get that. But I've got agents in Minnesota that I've dealt with that are like, yeah, I'll be out of the office from like Friday to Tuesday. I'm like, out of the office? I have a cellular telephone that I have a monthly subscription for that allows me to communicate. So I don't mind taking a call if I'm with my family or kids. And we need breaks, we need vacations, we need to shut this stupid thing off at times. Don't get me wrong. This is not our life, okay? But when you're in that situation, you better be by your phone, okay? That's what I mean. When it matters and counts, you better answer it. So I answered the phone, noon on Christmas Day. What's up, Jim? Hey, Joe. Some things have changed with the buyer we accepted, and I talked to the seller about it, and the seller said that he reviewed your offer, 2 days ago, and felt that it was a better match for the type of person he's looking to deal with. Okay, you and the buyer are what we're looking for. He didn't say anything about the money, terms, nothing like that. They didn't negotiate more money. They basically knew they could count on us, and the other buyer was nonsense. So we got that deal, and that was because of how I handled it from start to finish. So don't consider it done until it's done. I don't think Melissa Kaiser's here today, but she's a transaction coordinator. The TC Masters is her company. And Melissa and I have worked on maybe 6 or 7 deals together, and she's phenomenal. What I love about her is she's sharp, she's quick, she's on the ball. She's not talking about the weather or this or that, which I would love to sit there and talk about the weather if I had the time. But when I call her with something, okay, whether she's writing an offer for me or handling something, she's just on it, okay? She finishes my sentences, she thinks like I think, and she's awesome. So if you are selling homes and a lot of homes and you need help, consider hiring her. I've had a great experience. Resources to help you create a winning mindset. You know, I just thought winning was like the score of a basketball game when I was a kid. I thought it was tic-tac-toe. You know, it's really a deep subject. And so I always tell a couple buddies that I'm in a group with, you know, winners win and losers lose. And there's a reason losers lose, okay? There's a reason winners win. It isn't that they just have the Midas touch. It isn't that they're special or non-human or, you know, if they're a multimillionaire, it doesn't mean they walk on water, okay? They're people. They've made choices and habits, and they've won for a reason. And we want to win in this business so that when a client hires a Marzuko agent, they feel that difference, okay? We want to be the best. So two audiobooks I listened to are by Tim S. Grover, who was the personal trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. When Michael Jordan hired him, after a little while, he asked him, how much do I need to pay you to not work with anybody else? Okay, that's how well he did with Michael Jordan. And he was a quiet, behind-the-scenes guy. He wrote two books, Relentless and Winning, and I highly recommend you download those and feed your brain with some really good content. The middle book, you're probably wondering about. Most of you probably heard of this, but the whole goal of your offer is to be a purple cow, okay? You don't want to be, you know, if there's 10 black cows in a field, you don't want to just blend in, okay? If you're driving down the road and you see a purple cow in a field, you're going to wonder what the heck is going on. Am I being pranked? Which I got pranked big time by my wife on April Fools. But we don't have the time for that. What's that?
So you have another kid?
No. Now I just have to tell you. So we were at Sanibel, and she bought me some new swim trunks. This isn't on April 1st. That's her trick. She waits a couple days, okay? This was whatever day, 3rd or 4th. And she bought me some new swim trunks. And I'm like, I kind of like these. You know? She's like, put them on. Whatever. Let's swim. So I put these on, and I get 6 feet in the water. And 5 minutes later, I'm like, they literally split into 4 to 6 pieces. The mesh part of it started floating away. And I'm thinking, this is not good. Luckily, the water was kind of murky. And the fishing pier was from here to the door, a little further. And my kids were all on the fishing pier, and they knew what was going on. She bought me disintegrating shorts where the seams disintegrate. They're dissolvable, and so your shorts just fall apart. And so my kids ran up and down the fishing pier and told every fisherman, like, that's my dad right there, and he's not realizing that his shorts are disappearing. So the whole pier laughed at me. And so luckily my 5-year-old's a super good swimmer, and he swam out to me my other black shorts that I had. So I put those on like under the water. I couldn't even touch, so it's super awkward. They have the compression in the middle, so it literally took me 5 minutes to put some new shorts on. Then I swam to shore with these pieces of shorts. And, then today, we met at Starbucks in the morning with a couple of our kids, my wife and I went out to my car, and there was a parking ticket on my car, and it was fake, and she got me again. And I don't understand how she got this smart, but I've gotten her so good for many, many years, and the revenge is killing me. But I will get revenge on her. She thinks April Fool's is the whole month. Anyway, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that part. I was a good sport, and she put it all over her Instagram stories. Purple Cow is amazing. We're in sales, and there's so much salesy fluff, cheesy, salesy. You got to stand out. You just don't want to be like every other agent. And all these books, I guarantee you, will help you with that. So, the last thing I will say is I have a favor to ask of you guys. As you write offers for your buyers and you start changing things up a little bit to create an edge, and you start having success, we all want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. We all want to hear about your success. Okay, we want to celebrate you. We want your clients to get the home of their dreams. So please, if you've had a multiple offer situation that you've been successful with, post it on the Facebook page and tell us all about it. Let's celebrate each other. Marzuko's different. You guys know that. We're a family. If agents are going through a hard time, whether it's professionally or personally, let's have each other's back. You know, we say we're a family, but let's really be a family and take care of each other. Like I said earlier, real estate isn't our entire life, but if we're going to be together anyway, let's make sure we take care of each other. Let's remain humble. If you're the best, you don't have to tell anybody. You just are the best, okay? And servant-hearted. That's my favorite trait there. One of my favorite Bible verses is Proverbs 27:17, which says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." Okay? This room has a lot of wisdom in it. There's a lot of experiences that we've had. There's a lot of tips and tricks and advantages that we can have for ourselves through talking to Brian. We had coffee a month or two ago, and I left feeling elevated, feeling empowered, feeling good, because it was a healthy, helpful, value-filled conversation. So let's do that. Let's connect and help each other and grow. Let's be the best. Thank you, Josh, for letting me do this. Happy birthday to you, and I appreciate you guys listening. Any questions at all or anything?
Awesome.
Otherwise,
You were
that's it.
great.
Thank you.
I just,
Yeah,
I just want to say just a couple of things. What he was saying about giving up your commission towards the seller's closing costs, I've done that many times. It works. Another thing I want to tell you is the best part about being at 100%. One of the best parts about being at 100% company is you have all your commission and you can give up what you want to get these deals done. Whereas if you're at 80% company, I want you to ask them one question. Hey, I need to get this deal done. You, Mr. Broker, that's taking 20% of my commission, are you willing to give some of that back towards the seller's closing costs? I guarantee you, they'll say, nope, we're getting our 20%. Give up your 80% commission. Just ask them that question if you ever go to commission split brokerage, and then you'll see who works for who in that situation. Marzuka Real Estate always works for you guys. That's why you have 100%. And if you ever wonder if you're working for yourself or for someone, if the brokerage is dictating your commission, you work for them. You're their employee because they're telling you how much you get paid.
Yep.
If you tell I can tell Josh any day of the week, hey, I'm doing this deal, I get 100% of it, but I can give you 20% if I want. That's like, you know that you work for yourself. Okay, that's the difference between the two. And just remember, you're 1099. You always work for yourself. Don't ever let them tell you that you work for them or you're their agent. You're an agent here. You're an agent at Marzuka Real Estate. You're not Marzuka Real Estate's agent. Another thing, I emailed Nabor too to ask about the love letter because I send those out all the time. And they just emailed me back and said they've never heard that it's, no one in their office has heard that it's illegal here in the state of Florida. And we can go ahead and check with Greg as well if we want, but they've never heard that it was illegal here. So
Perfect.
keep sending them.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're awesome.
You guys want your card back?